Okay, next up, here he is. Are you ready? He has never told a joke before. He's here tonight because his wife wanted to watch The Bachelor on Monday nights without him home in the house. He hopes you enjoy the backside of his U-Haul blanket, which is his studio right now. Ladies and gentlemen, that's awesome. Give it up for Chad Peck.
Hi, I'm Chad Peck, and I like my wife. No, actually, I love my wife. She loves me too, but I'm not her only love. I have to admit, can't deny it any further, the clues are everywhere. How do I put this? My wife also loves to knit. She knits baby sweaters, scarves, mittens, slippers, and even socks. Yes, socks in Connecticut in 2020, and she's not even from Bangladesh. Most people buy their socks from some place like Target for about $3 a pair. No, I take that back. Now they get them through Amazon Prime for about $2 a pop. Sure, they save $1, but I think the main reason they do it is just to have UPS workers scurry around town, put in overtime to deliver, well, socks. My wife, when she gets her hankering for a new pair of socks, even in the pandemic, she doesn't go to Target or Amazon Prime. Nope. She goes to Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, they have Webb's, America's yarn store. Bigger than Rhode Island. They don't sell socks at Webb's, but they do sell sock yarn and every other kind of yarn. Enough yarn to make every sheep between here and Oregon shiver in their hooves. A typical Saturday morning with my wife will go something like this. I'll suggest a few things we can do together, and she'll say, "Oh, Chad, I would love to drive to Washington Depot to have a socially distant breakfast at the pantry with you, go on a hike in Steep Rock Preserve. But honey, sweetheart, I really need to go to Webb's and buy some sock yarn." So she'll top off the gas tank of her Toyota Highlander, car size matters here. She'll drive 94 miles, pick out the perfect skein, $15 skein of sock yarn for a single pair of socks, a specialized sock needle, and 6 other skeins of yarn, 3 patterns, and another circular needle because, well, she's at Webb's. Even after she pulls up her Webb's app and gives the cashier her Webb's frequent buyer number, negotiates which Groupons to apply, and catches up with the cashier's grandchildren or vacation plans, my wife will spend $117.26, which is more than it costs to pay for a full rack of 42 booty socks at Walmart. Of course, socks don't knit themselves. That's what my wife is for. My wife knits. She knits everywhere all the time. She can knit while watching television, while I'm driving the car, and when we have sex. Actually, I'm not that lucky. It's hard to get close to her when she has all those needles. In fact, it's hard to do anything with her that gets in the way of her knitting and her knitting needles. I have become a knitting widower. Knitter. I even knit her January vacation. She and her friend on Martin Luther King weekend went down to Knitting Live with Vogue in New York City, along with thousands of other knit and purlers. In that one weekend, there were probably more weaponry brought into New York City in the form of long needles and those super sharp little gold-plated stork scissors than from all the gun runners on the East Coast during the Bloomberg administration. That weekend, my wife had what was the highlight of her whole year. The first day she was there, she and her knitting buddy took a few classes and then went to the open air marketplace. It was a dazzling expanse of yarns, knitting gadgets, and sweater patterns bracketed by these huge soaring towers. They immersed themselves in this ovine wonderland and found a booth selling exceptionally beautiful, extremely expensive yarn. They fantasized about what they could do with this exquisite treasure and almost bought some until they saw the price. Then, the next morning, after 8 hours of sleep and 24 hours of sniffing lanolin, desire overtakes them. Chad will never know. And the retirement can wait. So, as knitters do at these conferences, my wife pulls on her hand-knitted cable socks. She wraps her night shift shawl around her neck, and she grabs her double reed stitch tote bag. She and her buddy head on down to the marketplace to buy the yarn that had been dancing in their dreams. They walk up and down the aisles, and they cannot find the booth. Nothing looks familiar. My wife, trying to make sense of the scene, catches herself looking up at the ceiling. The ceiling? She turns to her friend. What happened to towers? Then it hits them simultaneously. The marketplace has 2 floors. Nothing I ever do will surpass the joy she felt in that moment. Now, the pandemic has not slowed my wife down at all. Instead of going to conferences, she spends all her time on Ravelry, which is like Facebook for knitters, except they only allow unnaturally happy and well-adjusted people to join, like grandmothers and grandmother wannabes. They share patterns, they swap yarn, they give advice, and they post pictures of their latest projects. In the comment section, there's nothing but kind words and oohs and ahs. There's no such thing as a Ravelry troll. So, sounds nice, doesn't it? Sounds like an online oasis. Well, I'm not buying it. It sounds too nice to me. There's no harsh words, no sex, no violence, no reason for men to ever go there. It's suspicious, too. Have you ever read a knitting pattern? Well, listen to this. This is verbatim from one of my wife's patterns. It starts off the word size, capital S, colon, open parentheses, small p1, comma, small k1, in parentheses, to the word times, comma, small p1, comma, capital M1, capital L. But it goes on and on. Men, does this mean anything to you? Me neither. Code. It's a code that only women can understand. And where do they exchange these coded messages? I mean, patterns? You guessed it, on Ravelry, the one place men will never go. I have no idea what these women are telling each other, but it must be something very important, something so important that they can't share with anyone who'll screw it all up, like those guys. So you see, I have lost my wife to whirring needles, yarn megastores, grandma conventions, secret messages, and Jack, the maintenance guy at Webb's. My time
Yeah.
Probably my marriage. But thank you very much.
Wow. Yeah.
That's great. I don't know
Awesome.
if you guys
Chad, 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 Chad.
that's time and
Way to go,
probably
Chad.
my marriage. Excellent. Also, Chad, I just want to say for anyone zooming at home, that is a U-Haul blanket that you have, and I think it's fabulous. Can you imagine Bursitis gets a laugh with Courtney, Googling gets a laugh with Mary, and Knit and Pearl Porn gets a laugh out of Chad. Excellent.